From me, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? What do you want from me?
Y'all got eggs. That's a hot commodity of these things.
Everything just smells like rosemary and ginger. Help from the patriarchy.
Oh, wow. All right.
Sexually active band game.
We could send them on the moon.
Who did white privilege?
Midnight.
Yay!
She just sent me like, okay, right. Who's this random child? Liam.
Hi guys, happy Monday. So I wanted to give you guys a short recap on what I've been up to for the past, I guess now would be the third-ish day. So for the past 3 days, kind of. So Saturday we had our apartment warming, which was so much fun. We had Bria, we had my friend Marlena, and then we had Pat's friends Golda and her boyfriend Ian. It was so much fun. Remy had a good time. Yeah, we just ate lots of food. The food was really good. The bacon wrap dates were good. The charcuterie chips, the loaded chips were really good. And the brownies were good because I made brownies as well. But yeah, so overall, it was pretty fun. I won Cards Against Humanity, and then Marlena won Trivia, and I think I also won Scrabble too. But yeah, that was pretty fun. Sunday was Easter, and so Pat and I went with my parents and my sister Bria to church for Easter service, and then we got my grandmother, and then we had Easter dinner, and that was so much fun. And then today is my second day off. Tomorrow's my last day off, but today I went this morning to get a pap smear. Not my finest hour, but you know, we're gonna turn this day around. We're gonna turn this day around. And if you guys are like 21 up, definitely, and you haven't gotten a pap smear within like the past 3 years, I would definitely go. Yeah. Other than that, we're gonna turn this day around. I'm basically gonna be focusing all today on just cleaning stuff because we didn't have time on Sunday after the party. So I'm thinking about doing some dishes, doing some laundry, and kind of just chilling for the rest of the day. I'm thinking about also getting into this week finishing one of my books. And I think the book that I'm reading is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. And I've been loving it, actually. I think I'm on chapter 23. And so, yeah, I've been speeding through it. I think I started like late last week. But yeah, I've just been flying through this book. I think what really helps me get through books a lot faster is definitely listening to the audiobook while reading. So I have the first 2 books from this series that's also on audiobook. So I think it came as like a sale thing on Amazon. So it was like both this book and the sequel, and then you could get you could get the audiobook for both books. And then I'm trying to figure out if I want to start a new book and then buy the last book or the recent book from this series, or just finish it out, and once I finish the second book of this series, get the third book that just came out recently. But I guess we'll see how I feel. But I definitely want to get through this by the end of the week. We're also reading in the Turning Page Book Club, which you guys didn't know. If you guys didn't know, I started a book club with some of my closest friends. And yeah, we are still going through Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed. And we are almost done. I think our next meeting should be next week, so May 2nd, and that should be like the last meeting that we have for that book, and it's been really good. I definitely say so far, before I finish like the last 6 chapters of that book, I think I would give it a 4 out of 5. I definitely like the way that the characters and the story is developed. But yeah, so my whole goal for this week, so by the end of this week, I'm giving myself kind of like a goal thing, which is not only to just kind of take care of the space while I can before work, but also to finish this book. And so we're going to try to do it. But other than that, I am going to do some laundry, I'm going to do some dishes, and then I'm going to reward myself by making myself matcha. So yeah, come along with me. So I was going to make myself matcha as a reward for doing some small chores around the apartment. And as I was doing it, I realized that our pistachio milk is bad. So yeah, Remy and I are going to go to Paris Baguette to get myself a nice little matcha. So yeah, Remy, are you ready to go? All right, let's go. Hi guys, happy Tuesday. So today is my last day off for the rest of the week, and so I went to Target earlier and I got some pistachio milk. This is the barista blend. I think like either last vlog or the vlog before that, I showed this this particular pistachio from, I think Tash, I think it's Tosh. But yeah, I've been loving this pistachio milk. Pat's been loving it, and I feel like we like the barista pistachio milk version better than the regular one that they have, because it's just, we basically use this only for like our matcha or our coffee, especially like our iced matcha and iced coffee. So yeah, I didn't make my matcha yesterday because our pistachio milk that we had was bad. But now that I have my pistachio milk that is not expired, I am going to be getting my daily matcha. So let's go. Taste test. Oh, that's like really good actually, like really good. So my bestie Marlena got us the cutest little like apartment warming goodie basket. And so it came in like this little box here, which I think is so cute, which I'm actually gonna utilize, but I'll get to that later. But she got us this, and inside of it was like tulips in a little vase, which like regardless of like, you know, when the tulips die and everything, which they're kind of already on their way here, they're kind of like tilted to the side right now. But even after they die, I'm feeling like we can definitely use the vase for other flowers or other arrangements that we'll get later on in the future. She got us wine, treats for Remy, and then she also got us this cute little set of 4 kitchen towels. And I've been trying to rack my brain on what to do with like all of our towels, like our kitchen towels, because we also had these that we got from Target, like from the old apartment that we still have, but we always like had them up in like the little area that we keep like all of our towels for like the bathroom and stuff like that, in like the little kind of plastic drawer type thing that we have in the closet. But yeah, those are, I want them to be only reserved for like our bathroom towels. So what I'm thinking right now is, because we have space here, as you can see with the air fryer, I'm thinking about possibly putting all of our kitchen towels in here for the time being, right there, until I can find a new home for them in the kitchen, and then utilize this for something else. But for right now, that's what I'm thinking about right now. So I think I'm going to do that. So without further ado, let's get to filling this basket. I'll just have to grate it over the sink at this point, which is a waste of cheese, but hi guys, happy Friday. So I am kind of just going to be rambling. I don't have much for the day besides like work from like 1:30 to 9ish. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about like what I've accomplished this week. I feel like I should do that after like every vlog if I can. Just kind of like a reflection of the week and like some things that I liked. And just talk about like how my week went, I guess, and like all the things that I like either discovered or, you know, things that I really like enjoyed doing. But for this end of the week recap, I'm going to be talking about, if you guys remember at the beginning of the vlog, beginning of the week, I talked about how I wanted to finish both Such a Funny Age by Kiley Reid, which is for our book club, and then also knock out like the rest of the half for A Court of Thorn and Roses, which is the first book out of 5-book series. I think I said that it was like a 3-book series. I didn't realize until yesterday that there's literally 5 books in the series. So I have a lot to catch up on than I thought. But yeah, I actually started like the first like 5 chapters of A Court of Mist and Fury. So let's just talk about Such a Funny Age first, and then we'll get into A Court of Thorn and Roses and just like an overall recap of how I felt. And then I'm going to rate them from 1 to 5 stars. So Such a Funny Age with by the author Kiley Reid was so good. I know a lot of people talked about it, especially in 2020 and 2021, like obviously because of the climate and how important those topics in the book that were highlighted, like how important they were for the time. And I think they're still relevant today. But yeah, I really enjoyed the book. And also spoilers, by the way. So if you guys do want to watch the book, I would definitely skip through this to get to the other book, or just skip through this in general. But yeah, so I really enjoyed the story of Amira and trying to, you know, figure out what's next for her once she found out that Alix actually leaked the video from the grocery store. I thought that that was really crazy. I also thought that it was really crazy the fact that we found out until later that Alix knew that Kelly did not receive the letters that she had sent when they were in high school. That throwback was really crazy. And I think that it just brought so much context to Alix's character and how she holds on to grudges to people who wronged her, but she doesn't really realize how she is inflicting those same feelings of the things that were done to her onto others. And she just doesn't really understand that nuance, because I feel like she's never really felt like she's has to be held accountable for her actions, and how like no one really puts her like in charge of her actions. Like it seems like from later on, as like we fast forward into Amira's life, when she actually sees Alix and Briar, and I think Catherine was the baby's name, out in like trick-or-treating, how like it didn't seem like much of her life had changed, except for the fact that she did not have like help. But I think one thing that did stand out to me at the end of the book was the fact that Briar went to specifically a Black female nanny to ask her for help, because that's what she remembers from her experience with Amira. And I think that's very telling. And I think Amira says something at like the last line of the book, saying that like if Briar is ever lost in her life, she'll always hire somebody that will help her figure it out. So it's just kind of like the way that just the two different polar opposites of their lives still ended out with the same outcome that it usually is in these situations, where people who were considered the help is kind of still trying to figure out their own way, and still trying to like still in some way suffers the consequences of the actions of the wrong that's done to them by the people that they're working for, whereas the people that they worked for, like that are normally elites to a certain degree, often run around unscathed. So I think that was very interesting. And also Amira seeing Kelly with his like new girlfriend or situation there, it just kind of showed that I feel like Amira I don't know. I feel like Amira was out of Kelly's type. And why I'm saying that is that for some reason, and it was like kindly detailed, but how like the colorism discussion was kind of, navigated through. Like, I feel like Amira was, even though Kelly's like whole like dating history past Aleeks was all Black women, it was a specific, a specific preference of Black women that he was interested in, which I don't think is necessarily wrong, but I definitely see how the context of it now, seeing how, Aleeks found out that all of his past like girlfriends were on the lighter hue spectrum or biracial to some sort of extent, multiracial, if you would call it. And like all of a sudden now he went to Amira and then went back to the same type that he's used to. It's like almost like Aleeks and Kelly were both right about each other, but it was like the saying of right message, wrong messenger. Like they both were right about how they deal with class and race and how they kind of are complicit in a lot of systems that they claim that they, think are unjust. But still in the same way, they still continue to perpetuate that after Amira. And it's almost like Amira was just another passing checklist out of their life. And they kind of move on, but she's always still stuck there. But yeah, that's it for Such a Funny Age. If I would give it a rating from 1 out of 5 stars, I would definitely give it a good, I give it a good 3.5, possibly 4 out of 5. And I say that generally because I feel like there was a lot of context that we could have had, like more context to Amira's life. Like I felt like Amira, and I think that was kind of the intention, but Amira, like she kind of was like just a chess piece, and I really wanted something good to come out of it for her. Like I really wanted her to have more of the career situation. I wanted her to have just like to be able to be in a relationship, and that's how like it ends, that she's in a committed relationship with someone, or just having some type of fulfillment in her life that she's always kind of been missing. And being able to find that in a healthy way, besides being a babysitter / nanny for Aleeks and the Chamberlains, and trying to fit in with her friends, and trying to fill the fulfillment of what her parents envisioned for her and the expectations that Kelly had for her, even though he said he really didn't have any. I believe that he did. I just wish that she had some like better direction. But I think that's one of the good things about some books that don't really give us like the best ending that we would wish that the character had. But yeah, I would still it's still pretty a high rating. A 3.5 out of 4 is pretty decent. Now let's get into A Court of Thorn and Roses. Me personally, I heard that this book series is really good. But I didn't really quite know like anything about it. Like I would see on TikTok that people had like the books as like books that they recommend if you like fantasy, which for me, I used to love fantasy a lot growing up. That was borderline almost all I read, especially during the era of like the Hunger Games and like dystopian stuff as well. So fantasy and dystopian, that went hand in hand with a lot of the young adult books for me in middle school and high school. But Uglies and the Hunger Games series, Divergent series. I used to love in 5th grade the Red Pyramid series that they had. I think I still have the book. But yeah, I just loved fantasy a lot, and dystopian like society type books. I used to love that. But then like as soon as I like got into college, I really liked romance books. So then I was into mostly romance or like murder mystery stuff. So it was like in between those two, and I kind of just forgot about fantasy. So when I first heard that it was a fantasy book, I was like, like I don't know if I can get into it. I literally could not put this book down. I see why a lot of people liked it. I think one thing is that in my mind, and I don't know if they're trying to figure out if they're going to make a Court of Thorn and Roses series like TV show or movie, but I need to know what they look like the high fae look like from the author's point of view. Because for me, I'm thinking Silver Surfer gold. Silver Surfer in gold from, the Fantastic Four with like a blonde like coif wig and like gem emerald colored eyes. Like that's what I'm getting from the high fae, especially Tamlin's character. That's what I'm giving. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's more like of a glowy type skin, more godlike than like Silver Surfer, but I don't know why that's like what I'm seeing. But yeah, I did not expect for Farah to become a high fae at the end of the book. I did not expect that at all. And I don't know, it reminds me not of like obviously the film version of Twilight when they portray Bella turning into a vampire and like her waking up and breaking dawn and like she's like running around and trying to eat animals, and it's like this real like kind of like awkward funny kind of like I don't know montage. I don't know, but it's like the book version of when Bella turns into like a vampire after giving birth. That's what it reminds me of to what happened to Farah. And I think genuinely, one thing I will say is, how did they expect her to know that she was supposed to just confess her love and it was going to break the curse and like everybody could have been saved? Because of how quick that was for him to like, take, I think Asmorendon, like the high priestess, high fae lady that was like taking everybody's powers. I love how I'm describing this, but she like the way that he took her out like that, out of this realm, like, into the afterlife so quickly after she was like, Farah was like, love is the only answer. Like love is the answer to the puzzle. Like the way he just like kind of just took her out of there that quick. How was she supposed to know that? Like, I get that, like, it was like a spell thing and like no one could really tell her. It was like only through like, what they could say. And even that was like painful for them to say. But I feel like it was like, how was she supposed to know that? Like her thinking in like any human, right? In our mind would have been like, would I say I love you right now, given to the fact that I'm about to leave and I don't know where we stand. And I just feel like this is a really like awkward situation. Like, I don't know how to like, I don't know if I should say it. Like, I feel it, but I don't know if I should say that to you. Like, I feel like that's such a human thing to overthink things. And the fact that they were like low-key like blaming her for this was kind of crazy. But yeah, how was anybody supposed to know? Especially since Tamlin was trying to send her away. It was like, how are we not supposed to know that? Especially since like he's been for like the past couple of chapters up until he liked her. Like he was trying to basically pretend like he didn't even want her to be there kind of. So I don't know. Also, I didn't even know a human woman that confessed her love to Tamlin. I didn't know that was going to be like a thing, especially since like the tension between like the high fae and the courts and humans and, the Naga and all of that, crazy. But also what I really liked about this is definitely the narration for the audiobooks, because for those who really know me, like I read the book, but I also listen to the audiobook. Like it feels like it helps me like kind of move along in the story, especially for long-winded stories like this series. Like, because I know that A Court of Mist and Fury has about 69 pages. And I need to like get pumped through because I have like other books that I need to read and stuff like that. Not that I'm pumping through it because I'm like trying not to care about it. I think it's generally just because I'm trying to, get through all of the stories that I want to read. And especially since this is like a 5-book series, I definitely need to chug it along. But yeah, I think just in general, it was kind of weird. Like I loved the narrator, and I found out that the narrator is literally the mom from Dash and Lily, like Lily's mom from Dash and Lily. I love that, like Christmas series so much. I literally influenced like Bria and Pat to watch that last Christmas. I watch it every Christmas, and literally around Christmas time, even though it's like almost summertime, definitely gonna watch Dash and Lily on Netflix. Literally bomb. Also, if I wanted to give this book, well, not this book, but A Court of Thorns and Roses, if I wanted to give that a 1 out of 5 stars, I would definitely say 5 out of 5. It took me to a place where I started really envisioning things, because I'm such a visual like learner, and I'm such a visual reader too. Like, I can visualize what's going on. I think it might be my film student brain. I think it might be that. But yeah, I can visualize a lot of it, and I really enjoyed like kind of like this break. Like, this made me fall in love with fantasy again, because it's kind of like a good escape. And with work and all this other stuff that I have going on, it's good to like kind of like do a short escapism to somewhere kind of like that, and you know, being able to enjoy the characters. I'm definitely interested on how to see A Court of Mist and Fury and see how Farah's life is as a High Fate now. I'm kind of like, I kind of want her to become a High Priestess, kind of, just because I feel like she has it in her. And I feel like within the 5 books, it's either going to take us there or close to it to a certain extent. But yeah, anyway, so I actually finished I finished 2 books this week. Like, literally, go girl. I mean, I didn't expect for me to actually finish it. I knew I was going to finish Such a Funny Story because I only had to read chapters 22 to 28. But like for A Court of Thorns and Roses, I think I was like at the beginning of this week, I think I was like around like chapter like 15, 16, and there's like 46 chapters in there. I read through this like water. Loved it. So other than that, that's kind of it for everything. I hope you guys enjoyed my ramblings. Like, this is literally what I sound like at like my book club meetings that I host. But yeah, it was so much fun. I really enjoyed this. And yeah, I've just been really enjoying reading books. I also read, I think a couple of weeks ago, Say You'll Remember Me, which is a new Abby Jimenez book, which I think I will talk about next vlog, because I think I'm just gonna actually also read on top of this, since I'm finished with Such a Funny Age right now, and we haven't even finished our poll for our next book that we're supposed to read in book club. I think I might add an extra like romance book, and then if I finish that, I think it'll go hand in hand. But anyway, I will see you guys in the next vlog. I think I haven't done an outro in like almost a year. I feel like I'm always doing like, you know, all this other stuff, and then I just do an outro. But yeah, I am so glad that you guys stayed to the end. I will see you guys next week. I love you guys. Happy reading. Make sure to drink lots of water, take your vitamins, and take some time for yourself and hang out with your loved ones, and you know, whoever that may be for you. And yeah, just be kind to yourself and others, and I will see you guys later. Bye.